Alright, I'm gonna move this over a little more and show some more of the little model of the village in Vietnam where most of the fighting took place. I called it a Kong village, but anyway, so here we were in Mexico, 3 of us, outright criminals now, deserted from the Marine Corps, run off and ran away to another country, and our lists were on the names of the wanted by the FBI. The full implications of this kind of settled in on us as we were driving, making that long trip down. And I said I wrote a check, like a large check to myself, but when you consider that a private first class in the Marine Corps makes about, let's see, $28 a month, you know, plus room and board, but you had to pay for your own haircuts and laundry out of that, and that was a little money. I mean, you could get beer for a nickel at the little base canteen, but 28 bucks was, you know, nowadays it looks like nothing. So when I wrote a check, I wrote a check for, you know, several months, but, you know, like $200 check, and at that time I felt like that was a lot. But 3 guys in a big old car that gets about 2 miles to the gallon, traveling in a strange country, 200 bucks doesn't go very far. And it didn't take long until we were, you know, trying to figure out how to keep going, how to have gasoline. And sometimes we would just trade stuff. One time we stopped at one little village. There was, you know, digging around in the ashtray, we found a nickel. And we took the nickel around in the village there in Mexico and central Mexico, and we came across a guy. We were hungry, so we were asking about food, and we came across this guy who said, well, he'd trade us bananas for that. And we had, you know, bananas were better than nothing. We had empty stomachs. We were ready to eat most anything, ants off the ground if we had to. And so next thing we know, 2 of his sons are carrying a whole stalk of bananas, and it's so long. The stalk of bananas is so long and tall that they had it on a pole, you know, hanging off of a pole between them on their shoulders, carrying this pole on their shoulders, and it was bouncing there and dragging the ground. There were that many bananas. And we put it in the trunk and gave him his nickel, and we ate bananas until we couldn't stand them anymore. We were throwing them out the window. And give you an idea of the difference in money. A peso was 8 cents, so a few dollars would go a long ways, but we were not smart about how to do it, and so we got tricked and cheated a lot, and we'd stop at some place to buy food, and we ended up paying way more than you know, the locals were paying. And so the money was going fast, and we started to actually kind of face the reality of our decision.